Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another Gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at this absolutely awesome looking Gundam right here, which is the RX-78-6 Gundam Mudrock. Once again, this right here is a premium Bandai only kit, so if you're looking for rare kits like this, hard to get kits like this, then look no further than Bai. That's where I got mine, you can get yours, and the link is down there in the description. Now on to the review. So first off, that right there is the box. As you can tell from the color scheme, this is 100% premium Bandai material right here. Once again, it is the Gundam G06 Mudrock. And that right there is a quick look at what this guy will look like. I will mention straight away that because this was a P-Bandai exclusive kit, I didn't really expect too much out of it, but I've fallen in love with it. In case you're thinking that is one rad awesome looking Gundam there, but what is it from? It says right there up on the top of the box, this is from a PS2 game called Mobile Suit Gundam ZEONIC Front, or in Japan it was just called ZEONIC Front Mobile Suit Gundam 0079, which is actually longer. But if you are like me, you're from somewhere that this game never even came out, and I had never, ever even heard of it. But anyway, on to the Gunpla. So that right there is what the G06 Mudrock looks like out of the box, snapped together with a bit of what I would call medium level effort put in. So all that is the included stickers. There's not a whole lot in here, no color correcting ones, just foils for the eyes, cameras, etc. and some panel lining on the majority of the detail on this kit. And all I can say is this is one beautiful Gundam. Look at that. Seriously, for me, this is love at first sight. So anyway, busting right into a full 360-degree spin so you can see every aspect of the kit yourself, make your own decision on if you like it or not. But all I can say is this is one fantastic design for a Gundam. I will mention right away that this right here is the complete form of the Mudrock. We also have parts in this box to make the incomplete form. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on. But all in all, this is like the perfect progeny of the Gundam and the Guncannon. This is a Gundam packing the heat. Before we move into looking at all the individual details, I will mention that the whole aspect or premise behind this Gundam right here is the fact that the original RX-78-2 did not pack enough weapons, so they decided to throw more on so it had more staying power. So the first thing I will mention about this kit is the build, which is a bit of good news and I guess a bit of bad news depending on the way you look at it. The bad news is your wallet's gonna die because this thing is absolutely and utterly spectacular. I am blown away. As far as I can tell from the runners, this entire kit has been built from the ground up for premium Bandai. For the most part, that is quite rare, but it seems in recent times, it's getting more and more commonplace. And just before I actually say if that's a good thing or not, I will mention some of the kits that I've already reviewed that are built from the ground up for premium Bandai. That would be the high-grade Woundwort, as well as the offshoot kits, which are the Hazel 2 and the Heisenthal. And we also had the master-grade Gundam F90. Apparently, the Pale Rider right here is one of those kits as well. I haven't cracked it open yet, haven't taken a look at the runners yet, definitely looking forward to it, but apparently that is one too. Not sure yet though. But for the most part, all I can say is these are some amazing kits. I know I didn't rank the Heisenthal too high. That's because it doesn't really do a whole lot, but that could come down more to the fact that this thing has an insane transformation that doesn't really work too well in high grade. But besides that, the Woundwort is fantastic, the Gundam F90 is incredible, and this right here, the high-grade Mudrock, is incredible too. So once again, it's good news because it's awesome, but it's bad news because it's gonna make your wallet cry. So as for what's good about it, well, pretty much everything. The plastic is absolute premium quality, an absolute pleasure to work with. If you've built a lot of Gunpla kits, you'll realize that not every kit has the same level of plastic. For example, something that you get from the UC line is more likely to have better plastic than say something from Gundam Build Divers, mainly because it's aimed at an older, probably more picky crowd. The general design and silhouette here is fantastic. This kit rocks some serious angles, some serious bulk, and all of that really gives it a powerful image compared to your standard kind of Gundam. When it comes to the plastic, the black is probably the weakest link because when it comes to black plastic, with Bandai it tends to be a little bit on the brittle side, doesn't show a whole lot of detail per se, but if you're awesome at painting, that does not matter. The white does look great, there is a lot of very nice panel lining opportunities all over the place, it's not too overkill either. The gray is absolutely fantastic, buttery, so nice to work with. And we've got a yellow on here, which is a very nice tone. It's kind of a almost pale lemony yellow, as opposed to an overkill primary yellow. If you're not the hugest fan of the design in general, you can make this look more standard Gundam-esque with these parts that are included. So these are for the incomplete version. We've got shoulders as well as 4 of these leg side parts, which will remove these Alexy looking thrusters and make the big old shoulders up here a little bit more standard Gundam. We will take a look at that a bit later. Actually, I'll be doing it later, so here's a clip of what it looks like with all that stuff on, but we will talk about that a little bit more later. But that's it anyway. As for the stickers that are included in here, I did make a bit of a flub earlier on by saying there is no color correcting ones, but there is this one over here, number 5, is a color correcting yellow. That, of course, is for correcting the crotch there. That is a common color inaccuracy in a lot of Federation Gundams. That should be yellow, that little V on the crotch, but personally, I'd prefer to leave it flat like that than stick on a sticker. As for the other stickers on here, as you can see, we have a choice for the eyes. I just went with the green that were in all the product images of this, so playing it safe because I don't know why there are red ones. I assume it's for the other form, maybe. And we have 2 head stickers, which are for on the head cameras, like you can see up there up top. But all in all, just your standard fare. Also in here, we get some sticker style decals. That is a Federation symbol for on the shield, and we also have a... Wait, what? As for a bit of a size comparison, the Mudrock is a fairly standard size Gundam. There it is beside a normalish size Gundam. This is the 1/44th scale real grade Gundam Mark II, and there is the Blue Destiny. So as you can see, it comes in and around the standard Gundam size. And honestly, it really is about time I got me an RX-78-2 for these. I have no high grade RX-78-2. But anyway, moving on. So moving on to the accessories, and there's the high-grade Mudrock with absolutely everything that it comes with, and it comes with quite a bit. So the brief overview is, it comes with the shield, the beam rifle as well as a beam rifle holding hand, a pair of beam sabers, and the shoulder parts and leg parts for making this into the incomplete version of the Mudrock. I realized a lot of times in these reviews I totally gloss over the weapons that are actually on board the actual mobile suit itself, so I might as well go through those before I look at the accessories. The Mudrock is rocking the standard set of head Vulcans, as you'd normally see on a standard Gundam. Up on the shoulders then, we've got those absolutely awesome looking 300mm cannons. As for the movement of these, they can drop down over the shoulders like so, raise up like that there. And if you're curious as to the type of joint, it is just a standard peg into a hole. The grey segments there around on the back of the forearms are grenade launchers. These don't actually move or do anything. They are separated color-wise into grey and yellow, but that is it. There isn't actually any functioning parts. As for the other weapons in here, we've got your standard set of beam sabers. These are as basic as beam sabers come. As usual, when not in use, pull out the beam like so, and then these can be stored up here on the backpack just above the cannons. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but this question always pops through my mind. Can it actually reach them up there? And yep, no problem whatsoever. Can get a good old handful. And also, in case you're as curious as I am, yes, you can do that seamlessly. You don't have to take anything off. Next up in here is the beam rifle as well as the beam rifle holding hand. This is a pretty cool little beam rifle. It is in that black plastic though, which means a lot of the details don't really pop that much. It is pretty awesome that the barrel is color separated into white, as you can see right there. And besides that, there are no functioning parts. There isn't even a sticker for up there on the side. So in essence, it is quite plain besides that white barrel. Of course, to hold this, you just pop out the hand like so. Standard ball joint on the wrists. Pops in like that right there. And there's a bit of a quick example of what it looks like holding onto that beam rifle. So next up in here, we've got the shield. This is that standard Jib Command or Jim Sniper style shield, this time in the matching colors to the Mudrock. Around on back here, it's just pretty plain, just in white. And we have a fairly basic connection point back here. So what we have is this part here that hugs the arm with 2 different ball joints on it for 2 different ways of holding it basically. This essentially just attaches on to where that grenade launcher part is. As you can see, there is a bit of a slot. Pops on like so. It can either go on like that or reverse it round to be like this. And the 2 ball joints allow you to put it on the back of the arm or the side of the arm. Preferably, I like the back. And also, I like to keep this stuff out of the way like that right there. So this right here is a decent enough joint. It feels like it could fall off with a bit of pulling at it, but honestly I don't think it's going to come off with standard articulation and posing, etc. Yeah, holds on good enough. So the last thing we're going to be talking about accessories wise is the parts for converting this into the incomplete version of the Mudrock. So this right here is the complete version. It's all armored up top, has some extra oomph in the thrusters on the side of the legs, Alex style. And there is the incomplete version. This, without a doubt, is a lot more of a traditional style Gundam, just with some banana feet. All in all though, if you're a fan of a more traditional style, more akin to the original Gundam, this is like that, just with some different colors and some nice angles. As for converting it between the two different forms, this is so simple because thankfully someone at Bandai, or Premium Bandai, decided not to share parts. So to swap the shoulders, it's as simple as popping one off and popping the other one on. There is no sharing of a polycap or anything like that makes you have to strip everything down. It's super simple. As for the legs, just pop off the sides of the legs like so, and pop the other ones on like this. It's a very simple, easy conversion. So now moving on to the build and articulation, and before I mention the articulation, the build on this is as solid as a rock. Bandai went simple and effective with this as opposed to going experimental and loose, etc. It's just basic, but at the same time, I guess it's not entirely basic, it's awesome. But anyway, as always, from the head down. So as for the neck first, this is your standard polycap neck, as you've seen hundreds of times before, so you do get your giggity goo in there. There's the head looking all the way up, looking all the way down. We've got that side to side pivot, only a little bit of pivot there, and that can spin all the way around. I'm gonna get the backpack here out of the way first because it'll be easier to show the articulation on the Gundam itself without that. So this is your standard backpack adapter, so that means anything new, build divers, sets, etc. will work with this kit. And vice versa, you can put this onto those. So this is just a spin on these cannons, and that is it. Nothing else going on this backpack. The shoulder here is your standard polycap. This is aligned to move forward and back. So that does mean the majority of the movement at the shoulder is towards the front. Besides that, it is just a standard ball and socket, so you get your standard ball and socket action. Up here then we do have a little bit of a flappy of armor that can move up and down. This isn't present in the incomplete version. That's why I decided to go with this version instead. The incomplete version is just a standard boxy RX-78-2 style vibe. So from here on out, the arm does get a little bit interesting, and I will mention one tiny little bit of a negative aspect about this. We do have a bit of movement inside the shoulder here, so that means that the shoulder and the arm do work together. This is as high as the arm will raise. You have to flip it to raise it any higher than that. We have full rotation here at the upper arm, so that does spin all the way around, but also as well as that, we have a second spin down here. So this is both awesome and at the same time, something to be mindful of. So for whatever bizarro reason, in the manual they tell you to build it like this, not like this. To me this makes more sense. There's your full bend at the elbow, which is incredible. This, however, is just a bit weird, right? Why would it ever align its arm that way? It doesn't have a bend in there. So what keeps on happening with me is depending on the way this arm is rotated, if you bend it, it will clash with the gray plastic. This gray is soft and buttery, and is very, very prone to marking. Once again, I will mention I do not clean up nubs in the review. If there's nubs there, that is what you will get. That's one snip of the God Hand Nipper. No more, no less. So once again, that is what it looks like just snipped straight out, so it is fantastic. But however, this clash, and I'm going to do this in the name of science, push that in hard enough and you're going to get that. A big dig into the plastic. So align the arms like this, not in that weird way that it says in the manual. And when you're rotating them, be aware that that can happen. At the wrist then, we've got your standard ball and socket. Mudrock is keeping it old school with an absolutely paralyzed torso that does next to nothing. In here we do have a ball joint, but even if you put that on loosely, it doesn't really give you much. You do get the full spin right there, but that's pretty much it. Moving down to the skirting armor, these are attached together on the runner, but you can split them apart so they can move individually on two ball joints like so. The side skirting is that typical joint that has a kind of hinge mechanism allowing it to move up and down, as well as a peg that allows it to move forward and back like so. Again, the Mudrock is keeping it old school around here with a paralyzed butt flap, so that does not move. Underneath the skirting now at the hip, we've got a rocking side-to-side mechanism in the hips here, so that is a little bit of something. As for what we get here now, there is the kick all the way up to the front. Beautiful. Of course, paralyzed butt flap means not a lot to the back, but we do have an absolutely perfect splits. So we do have full rotation at the upper leg here, but that is only when it's out all the way like this. Otherwise, that little bit of front armor that you can see is raising up towards the front there will come into contact with the crotch in there. So when it is down like this, you're not going to bend that in any further, but does move outwards. Next up, we've got a double jointed bend at the knee. You could not ask for more than that. That is beautiful. We do have a couple of hollow parts inside the knee joint there. Some people may not find that too visually appealing. You can actually see all the way through. The little thrusters, the Alex style thrusters here on the sides of the legs, these are just attached via a peg, so it can spin the full 360-degree around. At the ankle now, it is double jointed, so that is a rocking forward and back up here, and a ball joint down here. So let's check out that functional movement. Pop off the leg, down it goes. I will mention first off that the foot has absolutely nothing to it. A little bit of a disappointment, but it does mean it's quite solid. This little armor bit can move up and down like so. Nothing too special, but it's nice that it moves. So now checking out the functional movement when the foot is flat on the ground. There it is all the way to the front. Not too bad. Moving it out to the back. Can't really complain too much about that either. The side-to-side pivot could be better. You're not going to get the biggest wide leg ground poses out of this without that foot coming off the ground. But all in all, this is pretty impressive. So when it comes to posability, the Mudrock is about average. And that is average for 2019. And mixed with a solid build, to me, it is impressive. The waist could be a little bit better, the ankles could be a little better too, but on the whole you can get some good poses out of it, especially some nice dynamic ones in the air. So that right there is it for the review, and pretty much this kit right here ticks all of the boxes that you would want it to. It looks awesome, it feels awesome, the articulation's pretty good, and the accessory set is really nice. You can build both versions of the Mudrock. It's a nice, solid, awesome kit, and for me, the Mudrock is gold tier. There isn't really a whole lot for me to say about this that I haven't said already. It is awesome, it comes with a whole bunch of stuff, you can build 2 different versions of it, everything is rock solid, holds together well, the plastic is top tier, and all in all, if you're a major fan of early Universal Century style Gundams, this is one you need in your collection. If you do want one of your own, there's a link down there in the description to Buy. That is where I got mine. Once again, if you do sign up to Buy through that link, you will get a 1,000 yen coupon towards your purchase. So if you're looking for a Mudrock, that will definitely take the sting out of the P-Bandai price. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I'll see you next time. Once again, this video would not be possible without each and every one of you guys who watches my videos, including those of you who support me over on my channel memberships and on Patreon, including Kaiser721, Forged Horizons, Vex Bolwick, Tyler Sanders, Frank04484, Caleb Engelhart, Craig Jury, NQG420, and Mark Wu.